Did I hear this right? Did you lose $60 million in real estate?
My dad did.
Your dad did?
I can tell you that story.
Oh, I thought that was you.
No.
Okay, so your dad loses $60 million. What happens to you and the family?
Well, I mean, we're there. I get to watch it go down.
Rags to riches?
Or riches to rags.
No. Riches to rags.
Yeah, it's a wild story, man. I mean, I could walk you through that if we get a chance. And how long do we have? About an hour? Because you have another podcast?
Build out the story.
It's a good one. So this is, God, where do I start with my dad?
How old are you when this happens?
This is 2008, so I'm 29, 30.
Oh, this is recent.
This is a financial crisis.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So kind of backtracking real quick. So I grew up in real estate, third generation, essentially. My grandmother, God bless her soul, she was 91 years old, driving around in a little S10 Chevy truck, collecting rent on her apartments in South Bay, San Diego.
So she old school.
Little Italian woman, like she'll hunt you down, right? So learned a little bit from that. She passed that on to my dad. But my dad was that transitional character in the family, if you call it. I don't know if you've ever read that book by Ed Milet, The Power of One More. He talks about that person. He was that for us.
Okay.
So he takes kind of that knowledge, but he grew up, not in necessarily a good environment. I mean, good mother, but his dad died when he was 3. His stepdad used to beat the crap out of him, emotionally, physically, everything. He goes off to Vietnam, was a door gunner, right? The guy in the helicopters, like straight out of the movies.
Right.
And he always tells the story. They used to go down inside the paddy fields and stuff, and they'd get shot up from underneath. They used to always sit on bulletproof vests.
Jeez.
And one day they go down, they get shot up from underneath. It comes through the helicopter, kills the door gunner on the other side, kills the co-pilot, wounds the pilot, comes up through. My dad would sit on 3 bulletproof vests. It came through and stopped on the last one, 1/4 of an inch.
Wow.
It's wild.
So
he comes home, right, from this tour, and he gets into real estate, gets his real estate broker's license, starts selling, hates it. He says, I want to build things. I don't want to sell things. And so he starts doing little single-family homes, loves it, then gets into bigger subdivisions, then starts getting into big kind of condo 100-unit, 200-unit complexes, and doing it all throughout San Diego. Goes through up until the late 80s, early 90s, and you had the RTC crisis. So that was probably cycle number 1. Comes through that, starts building in Idaho, Las Vegas, and some other places, does all the way that through the 90s, and builds, probably 2,000-3,000 units in Vegas. Apartments, tilt up, I mean, you name it.
he's doing well.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's building, he's kind of he's going 0 to hero. We didn't grow up rich or wealthy. We had a little 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, but then he started to make it. So of course you grow with that. Goes through 3 cycles, and then we're right coming into 2008, and we're probably under construction of about almost 1,000 units in southern Riverside County.
And is this multifamily or single
Yeah,
family?
condos, townhomes, all the above, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll never forget it. It was April 8th, 2008, around 8 in the morning, like lots of 8s. And he walks into my office because I was working with him at that time, sits down, kind of like this, and says, the bank's just called, and they're shutting down the loans, the construction loans. And I remember looking at him going, well, they can't do that. Like, we have loans, we have agreements. Like, we're literally have tractors on the properties. He's like, they told me they don't care, sue us. Everybody's going in their corners, they're putting on the gloves, and party's on. And so that basically just was a matter of time before everything imploded. So yeah, at that time he had about $20 million in liquidity and assets, $80 million in liabilities, $60 million BK. Poof.
Wow. Yeah, how did he handle that?
Okay. Not well, but okay, right? At that time he was 63.
Dang, what a tough age to go through that.
Right. So I knew, kind of watching him go through that was probably his last big hurrah.
Right.
He wasn't going to build it back.
Right.
But, he weathered down through it, consolidated the companies, oddly enough, he ended up moving because he was ashamed in a way, but everybody was getting hammered, right? To kind of protect the family name, which was kind of odd, but he moved to Riverside, or not Riverside, but up into Temecula, so Riverside County.
Right.
So he could file in Riverside County, not San Diego County, because he didn't want to hit in the papers.
Right.
It's kind of weird, but that's
Well, gosh, I get it.
yeah.
But at a time where everybody's getting washed.
Right. I mean,
don't know
get
if
in line.
Yeah.
Get in line, right?
That's right. So then he started doing real estate again.
Yeah, I started just flipping houses.
Yeah.
So we flipped a bunch of houses between Temecula and Murrieta and San Diego. Probably a few hundred homes we've flipped over the last 15 years or so. But I never, when I did it, kind of learning what I've learned going through that and watching it, cash flow is king, and don't over leverage.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so you're somebody who can learn from others' mistakes. You don't have to go through it yourself.
Yes, correct.
And-
Hopefully.
And when you guys were, pulling out construction loans, what type of leverage were you using?
Back then?
Yeah.
Well, your typical 70% loan to cost, 75% loan to cost. But
Okay, so you pulled that down after watching your dad lose everything.
yeah, and it's not even so much that is when you're in the build and sell game, right? Because he was beautiful at making money, right? But he wasn't formally educated on how to protect the money.
So he was flipping.
Just build and sell. And so if you get into any cycle adjustments, you get caught, right? Because your valuations they drop.
Right.
So then you're sitting there with what in your hand.
Right.
So I said, okay, I'm not against building and selling stuff, but we're going to build the foundation of cash flow first. So hence the apartment game. And that's why coming out of it, we bought our first rental property. It was a $100,000 condo in Murrieta, California. $25,000 down, $75,000 loan. And then from there, we went into a little duplex, triplex, quads.
Yeah.
And then I started to learn the game. I'm like, dude, we have all of our money wrapped up in these deals. We can't get it out. But we want to grow and scale. How do people do this?
Right.
And I had to learn the game of OPM.
Yeah.
Syndication. Okay, so we can take some of our money and other people want to invest with us and we put it all together and we go buy bigger deals. And then I had to learn it. And
Okay, so then you guys started syndicating.
Correct.
When was this? When was your first
That was
syndication?
2018.
Okay.
2018.
All right, that's close to me.
Yeah, and so our first deal was a 27-unit Kansas City, Missouri.
Let's go.
Because we were in California and it was too expensive. I'm like, our dollar can't go far enough.
Right.
So I said, to scale the money, we got to go out of state. But I'm like, okay, that's a whole other
So how much
variable.
does a 27-unit apartment in Missouri cost?
At that time, it was 2.1 million.
That's more than I would have thought.
No, but then oddly enough, we stole one right behind that, 31 units for $1.5 million. And that one we made a complete home run on.
Okay, good. So these are value add plays?
All value add, Burr method type stuff. So we'd go in, do the renos, refi, hold.
Right.
And so, yeah, that one, bought that, did well with that one. And then a 31 unit behind that, then a 50 unit, then an 80 unit, then a 121 unit, then a 200 unit.
All out of state?
All out of state, then a 160 unit. And then, we just kind of started growing and scaling because I'm like, holy crap, people want to invest with us.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think people get, because I didn't know what I didn't know, right? And so you get the whole limiting belief system.
You had that.
Oh, of course. Imposter syndrome, just not realizing, okay, so this is how it works. And then you learn, okay, the deal drives the ship. So I said, if you want to attract money, you need a good deal. It's not the other way around. People aren't going to commit money to you if the deal doesn't make sense, right? So you got to get the deal first, lock it up so you have the leverage. Then you can go, the people will find, the money finds good deals, as you well know.
Right.
Finds good deals, but you got to underwrite well.
Yeah. There's so much to what you just said, man.
You got to underwrite
For
well.
anybody who is listening to this that's not part of the real estate investment world, a common phrase that drives me nuts is the chicken and the egg scenario.
Right.
It's what you just explained, and I hate everything about it. And basically, in our world, you have the deal or the capital.
Right.
And which one do you do first?
Right.
And anyone listening would go, yeah, get the money and then deploy the money. Except when you go out and raise money, everyone looks at you and goes,
where's the deal?
Where's the deal?
Right.
And so everyone always talks about what's the correct way to do it. And what I found, I would love to do the money first.
Of course.
But it's really difficult. So we've typically had to do what you do. Pick the chicken, get the deal, lock it up, and raise the money.
Right.
But I do have a brand new offering that is
fund,
a
right?
fund.
Yeah.
And it's the opposite approach. We're raising money first. And
Well, but see, you can do that now because you've created a runway of deals.
Yeah,
So now people,
that's right.
So people invest in the strategy now.
yeah, that's
Right.
right.
So that's how the fund works. I have people come to me all the time like, I want to start a fund. I'm like, have you ever done anything yet? And they're like, no.
Don't.
I'm like, you have no chance. And I
Yeah.
said, here's why. I said, when you do a fund, it's great. I understand why you're trying to do it. But you go to an investor, just like you were saying, they're going to say, well, where's the deal? Because you have no track record. They don't believe in your strategy yet because you don't have one yet.
Right.
So once you have done 3, 4, 5 deals and you can actually show, before and afters,
Yep.
now they'll say, okay, I get your strategy. You come in, you do this. Okay, here's the return. Awesome. So now you just want me to give you $1 million, so then you can go put it into these other deals and move faster.
Correct. So
Great.
start with some syndications. And
Yeah,
then
deal
move
by
into
deal
the fund.
first,
Yeah.
then move to the fund strategy because now you have a track record to run on.
Yeah.
And people will invest in your strategy now, not the deal.
Right. So we talked about this at the beginning, but leading up to 22, 23,
Yeah.
was it getting pretty easy for you guys to raise capital?
Yeah.
And
But I can tell you some gnarly stories the last few years.
yeah, it's been brutal.
It's been
for anyone
brutal.
who doesn't know, it's been really
It's been brutal. It's,
Yeah.
And I have so many questions for you.
I'll let you hit this, and we'll start with this one because
Yeah.
this is what I'm hearing at every conference.
Yeah.
2023, you jumping in? A little late to the party, bro. This is Michael.
Hold on, I need to do some behind the scenes.
Michael is 20 minutes late. I just want the audience to know, which is a common pain point for me. I'm the guy who shows up early because I hate being late. Michael just moseys on in on his own time.
It's all right. Anytime's a good time, right?
So what we're hearing a lot in or at conferences is that 2023 was the worst year for real estate investors. 2024 was the second worst year for real estate investors. And 2025 is the third worst year for real estate investors. Michael, welcome to the party for should I film this or should we just take a hard... This is what we're going to do.
I said behind the scenes,
watching
film
and
it.
listening, there's going to be a quick clip to the next moment so that we can get Michael set up on audio. Welcome to the party, bro. Morning.
Come sit in the... Justin, hi, nice to see you.
I want to thank you guys for bearing with us and experiencing what I get to experience on a daily basis, being friends and partners with Michael. Just joking. Welcome back to the pod. All right, Justin. So raising capital has been tricky the last few years.
Yes.
What's going on? What are you guys seeing?
Yeah.
What
so
should investors know and what should operators know?
So to help explain this, so I'll give 2 examples of 2 deals. So in December 2021, we closed on a 121 unit deal in San Antonio, Texas. Everything was great.
Value add?
Value add.
Bridge debt to close?
Bridge debt to close into refi debt. That was going to be fixed rate. Then March 2022 comes,
Yep.
right? Fed chair says, we're going to start raising the rates.
Yep.
So it goes up, and I'm watching it. I'm going, I knew it was going to go up. We just didn't know it was going to go up 11 times in 9 months.
That's right.
So after about the 4th raise, I'm going, our interest reserve is going to go bye-bye. We got to get this thing renoed faster so we can get into fixed rate debt or we're up, you know what.
Right.
So I'm seeing if the reno guys out in Texas can, and I'm a licensed general contractor, right? So I can call their BS left and right. And they're like, well, I don't think we can move any faster. We're doing this, we're doing that. We're turning these a month, blah, blah, blah. I said, we got to go. I ended up moving out to Texas.
Yeah, you have to finish the deal.
Because I'm like, if I don't, we got $7 million in this deal with investors and us and everybody. So I'm going, no way. I said, no one's going to care more than me. I said, I got to go for the next few months.
Right.
I moved into a model unit on the property. Every day, hustling right alongside the rental guys, doing it with them.
Are you out there solo? Is the family with you?
No, I'm out there solo. It was hard. But I'm like, it's either that or I know where it's going.
Yeah.
And I'm watching all my other syndicator friends. They're not willing to do this, and they're losing properties, handing keys back.
Did you guys get the property finished?
We got it finished.
Did you get the rents you
got
needed?
the leased up to 98%, got collections in place, everything lined up, moved into Fannie Mae debt 7 days before the 10-year treasury went through the roof.
Wow.
And got locked in at 5.49%.
Oh, amen. 7
days.
Wow, great work.
I mean, the lender guys from Walker Dunlop were like, Justin, we have never seen anything like that in our careers.
Wow.
Where the operator moved out to the property.
Yeah.
And pushed it across the finish line. And I said, well, I had two choices, guys. It's either just act like everything's cool and they'll get it done.
Right.
But then we got millions in this deal. Like I can't, like we're not at a point in our careers where we can lose that.
Right.
We got to do everything I know I can at least control.
Right.
And I said, the only thing I know is I'll work harder than anybody. So at least, and I'll do it with the guys. So that way it's not like me sitting there pointing fingers. Like I'm in there hustling cabinets, moving things in, you know, doing the stuff. That. And so they got to see that because they're like, we can't go any faster. I said, really? And I said, we'll see about that one.
Yeah.
We'll see about that one. We got it done. So that was that deal, and we still are holding on to that one, and we got lucky.
And then when did you guys turn back on? Did you give it a break before you started doing more deals?
Well, so we were also in escrow similar time on a 200 unit in 2022. Like we went into escrow about 3 weeks before the interest rate started to rise. Mm-hmm. And then during the course of this escrow, the rates are going up, the deal's getting worse.
Yeah.
And at this point, we had about
we had
800,000 hard.
Oh, what'd you do?
Hard. So this included 500 grand of deposit money plus 300 of DD money, due diligence that we've already gone through.
Does that money come from a combination of you and investors, or is that just
we
you
do
guys?
not risk investor money until we're getting ready to close.
Oh, so what?
So this is me and my capital partners. So of course I'm hyperventilating.
Yep.
Because at this point I'm sitting there going, we have two choices. We can put a square peg in a round hole and force feed it and risk $12 million of investor money, including ours. Or we pull away and we take it, meaning the syndicator take it in the shorts for 800 grand and walk away and protect the investors.
And?
They took it.
We backed away.
Are you doing that too in that scenario?
I don't think you have an option. If you want to have a business long term.
To show how this goes, and it was one of the hardest business decisions, but the best business decision I have ever made.
All right.
Because I thought about it for like 2 weeks, and then I finally called up one of our partners, and we had a long conversation, and it was 3 GPs together. And I said, guys, I can't with conscience, knowing that there's probably a 50-50 shot.
Yeah.
Maybe we make it, maybe we don't, but there's a 50-50 shot this thing's going back to the bank 2 years from now.
Yep.
And now we've got $12 million of investor money, our money, everybody's money in it. I can't do it.
Yeah, and the reality is you would have a very difficult time in theory raising the money.
Yeah.
Unless you were being dishonest about the deal.
Yeah, knowing what I knew.
Yeah.
Knowing what I knew, and that goes into, potentially fraudulent stuff.
Correct.
Do you have were all the partners on board?
Yes. Eventually they came together and they said, okay, we get it. So to show you how doing the right thing is the way through, we backed out painfully. And about a month later, a deal comes available to us completely off market in San Diego. This is an 80 unit sent to us through the family's attorney, and absolute home run. I mean, I knew it the second I looked at it. I didn't even need to look at it.
This is the one in
National City.
Yep.
All because of the way we handled that, all of the investors who were in on that deal in Texas threw their money into this thing, no problem.
That's such an important point. We talk about this all the time. And I think this is actually really good for anybody getting into real estate with investors, or even if you're starting a business with investors. You have this idea that if things go wrong, you're going to lose trust from your investors and they're never going to work with you again. But what we have found, and we have to remind ourselves of this. So this isn't like when you're put in a tough situation, it's not like you just remember it. You have insecurities and emotions that naturally run wild. But when you go through challenges, that is the biggest trust build you can have with investors, when you bring them along and let them see how you handle problems or resolve problems. We had this recently. This recently happened to us. We had a sinkhole pop up in the neighbor's property that washed our entire shoring wall down into our property. Was it national news?
Yeah, I think it was definitely regional.
It went viral. Viral.
Is it because you're going viral?
So here's what happens, right? We have a property that we have been working on for years. Lock it up in 2019. The entitlements dragged. When we were about to get it entitled, There was an issue with the city council. It was a tough one. We get it done, get our construction loan. We start digging to do a subterranean parking lot. And there's massive shoring, right? This is, how far are we from the ocean? 300, 400 yards?
300 feet.
Okay.
Right?
So you got water table issues.
We got water table issues.
5-foot water table.
Right?
Oh, boy.
That we know of. So our entire plan was, around knowing
Yeah,
what.
dig down, suck up the water, dig down, suck up the
Bingo.
water. Yeah.
So we get a call. I'll never forget it. We're driving in a cyber truck because he had a cyber truck for a couple days.
Jesus.
And I'm at our church where I'm saying hi to the kids, and I get a call. And we got a problem.
Don't you hate those calls? Like, you know what? I'm cool if you call for a problem. You better have a freaking solution.
This is why it sucked. It was, we have a problem, and then there was a link to an Instagram video. Pull up the Instagram video, and it's this one guy who absolutely loves me, and he constantly posts photos of how bad we are. And it's all of this stuff that happened through a very negative lens. And then LA Times picks it up, Ojai, Ventura,
Wow.
Santa
Okay.
Barbara. We got a guy on our sales team in North Carolina going, bro, our property's on the news.
Wow. So it did
That
go
was-
national.
That was tough. That was hard. We
It
started
was
getting,
a fully viral story.
yeah, and when you're dealing with something like that, first thing we did, attorneys, what
Yeah.
do we do in this scenario? And so we had investors calling us
Yeah.
before we could even make a message to them, which came the next morning.
Yeah.
But that's something that we talked about as partners, articulated to the team. This is going to be a moment for us to show our partners and our investors how we handle these things. And so we went aggressive on the communications. We filled it with, problems, how we're looking at resolving it, having updates. And my belief is when we get through this, I think we're going to have larger buy-in from our investors, more so than if the incident wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And so we're going through that right now. We're now our remediation plan is with the city, and we're hoping to have approval on this hopefully this week.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
listen, the big thing here is you don't always have to have the answers to all the questions, right? It's okay when you could look at somebody and say, I don't have the answer for you yet. We're working on it, and we're going to get back to you. And as long as you maintain a constant flow of communication and dialogue with them, you are building trust by doing so. So in your scenario, you had a difficult decision to make. It took you a little bit of time to get there. You made the tough call, and you did a good job communicating it, and that business came back to you. In our scenario, even when it first happened, we didn't have all the answers of what was going on, how much it was going to cost, how long it was going to take, and we had to say that. But what we told them was, we will make sure that we will keep a constant drip so that you are aware every step along the way. And as things developed for us, we communicated that out, and we've been getting a lot of positive feedback.
Yeah, and that one was with one of our partners, 35 years of building.
Wow.
Developer on site, 20 years of building.
Wow.
Everyone's going, we've never seen anything like this.
That's good.
So that was a
That's great.
first time. Yeah, that's right.
Well, no, and it proves the point that over communication.
Yeah.
It's when you go silent that problems start.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know what? You touched on this earlier, which I think is important. You got to be careful not trying to always promote a pie in the sky, everything's beautiful idea.
Yep.
I think it is actually, it's healthy and does build more trust when you're actually open with what's happening. Problems are part of life. It's absolutely part of business. So if I could recommend that to any entrepreneur, do that.
Yeah, we actually make it a point anytime we meet with somebody who wants to invest with us, to tell them we have yet to do a project where it goes 100% according to plan with no curveballs along the way.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not a reality in development.
No.
Well, no.
You always have unexpected things that are going to come up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Even
that's kind of
with-
like a rule of thumb.
Yeah, even with, we have a project that we just completed in San Diego. And I would say the San Diego project was one of our smoothest projects we've ever had.
By
Would
far.
you agree?
By far.
It just went. Oh, there are problems with that. There's always problems, right? So, all right. So now you're in a space where, okay,
No,
pull out the
no.
book, bro. Pull out the book.
No, you got to finish. What you say.
What I was going to say is 2025.
Yeah.
For anybody that doesn't know this, because I mentioned this, I think offline, maybe this is when Michael was joining us. 2023 was one of the hardest years in real estate since financial crisis. 24 was the second hardest. 25 is the third hardest.
It's been tough.
The reason why people say that, I think, is more on the equity side.
Yeah.
Because whenever there's an investor pullback, deal flow changes. And our deal flow right now is great. It's through the roof.
Yep.
But investor capital or on the equity side is
chase
hard
the
to
deals,
get.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because right now, aside from the tight kind of coastal markets of the U.S., anywhere in the interior of the U.S. is getting clobbered.
Yeah, that's right.
Sunbelt states, name it, cap rates are 6.5% to 7.5%. You go to Texas, you're seeing vacancy rates at 15% plus, delinquency issues with tenants paying rent. There's a short-term oversupply issue that's massive. I mean, 2 states account for more than a third of the 500,000 units delivered this year, Texas and Florida. So there's a massive oversupply. Now, there's a lot of people moving there. So the good news is it's going to get absorbed. But right now, you're seeing a clobber issue going on. Valuations dropping. I mean, it's a problem.
Is that why you're doing projects in San Diego?
Well, we did one in San Diego because it was such a screaming deal.
Yeah.
But most of our money's out of California, and we do like Texas. Thankfully, knock on wood, we were also in escrow on 2 other deals at the same time that these ones were at in 2022. That because there was a fire on site, we were able to get out of the contract because those would have been back to the bank,
Right.
no doubt. So we're lucky that it's only been one deal. We haven't lost anything. And we've done everything to hold on to deals, even though the deal in Texas right now, it's not making any money, but we're treading along. Right. It's a dogfight because we're seeing just higher vacancy issues, higher delinquency. We're trying everything.
Yeah.
And it's just a dogfight.
Yeah.
And you got to stay in the fight.
That's right.
So it's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just the way it is.
I mean, we're coastal. We're bullish on California.
Yeah.
And what you just articulated is our entire thesis.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody went to the states where it's easy to build. There was a big migration happening, so I understand.
And there still is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's all the construction has stopped. The good news is, it's like anything. You get oversupplied, it's going to stop, and you're going to run into a housing crisis there probably by the end of next year, because there's no more building coming right now because all the builders have stopped. Everything's been delivered.
Yeah.
It's going to get absorbed, and then you're going to run right back into a housing problem here pretty soon.
Yeah, I agree. Yep, I agree.
But you're right. And I heard you on one podcast, or I think it was one of your stories, you said, we love California, right? And I'm like, okay, let me listen to this for a minute. And
who is this guy? Jeez, buckle up.
But no, I think that's like what drew me into you. And I'm like, let me listen to this, because I'm like, this place is a show. But let's understand. And then you talked about some really good points. You said, listen, and I would never recommend anybody invest in California if you don't live here. Okay, because there is an enormous amount of red tape, which is a pro and a con, right? It's a con because it's a pain in the ass. It's a pro because it keeps everybody out.
Correct.
And if you're smart enough and tactful enough to maneuver through it, because of the tight supply constraint you have because of these red tapes, the ability for wealth growth is tremendous.
Right.
And that's why you just need to weather the BS.
Yeah.
And so if you're good enough and you live in this market and you understand this market, you can get rich.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. The only challenge is it's highly capital intensive.
Yeah. But how much was your 200 unit deal?
In Schertz, Texas, it was $32 million.
Yeah.
All in. That's all in. So technically it was 29, and then with reno dollars, 32.
Yeah. So for context, the project that we're talking about with the sinkhole, that was 88 units, and that cost us about $42 million.
Yeah. Right. So it's all, price per unit, and out here it's $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 per unit or more.
Yeah.
Right. It's just the way that it is.
That's right.
But there's, a lot of money to be made out here. It's just you got to be tactful, and then you got to weather the storm. It's more capital intensive, but there's money to be made.
Yeah.
And so if you can ride through that, you can do just fine.
Yeah.
But you got to live here.
That's my
I tell people, do not try and invest in California if you're coming from Texas trying to pull this off.
Yeah.
You're going to get clobbered.
Yeah, it's a hard market.
It's a hard one.
I should have had him on the pitch.
That's what I'm
instead
saying.
of me.
We're doing.
I could have started the pod and had him take the call.
We're doing a live call tonight. I'm almost.
I'll just raise a couple million for your fun. No problem.
And I'm like, Justin's staying for the day. We're gonna go eat, hang out, and then we're gonna throw you on our live call. Hey everyone, this is Justin. Here's his firm, and will you just say what you said on the podcast?
But there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
And I do believe in it.
Yeah.
Because I see people making a lot of money, in California if they're tactful.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's been a seller's market in terms of good and making money if you can weather through the red tape BS.
Correct.
So, personal questions.
Yep.
When was the first time you met your wife? Tell me about it.
Me?
Yeah.
I met my wife when we were kids. My parents and her parents moved into a new development next door to each other.
Yeah.
So homes, shared grass, and I originally met her mom. I was with my mom walking our floor plan when it was still just, 2x4s going up. Her mom was in our house looking around, and her mom goes, "Oh, I have a daughter who's 15, 14. Who's
Were you a
moving next
skater
door."
at this point?
I was a little punk skater.
Okay.
I was 15 years old, no sponsors, just skate rap.
Yeah.
And I looked like
Up
I was
here.
up here. I looked like I was 10. And my now mother-in-law looks at my mom and goes, "Oh, I have a 14-year-old moving next door." And my mom goes, "Oh, my son's 15. And she, "This is my son." And my mother-in-law looks at me and goes, "You're 15? What?" And then I met my wife maybe 2 months later, and we were cool, but there was nothing there.
Okay.
Like, she was doing her own thing, I was skating. And then I reconnected with her because 7 years later, she came into town for Christmas break. She was down at School by You in Point Loma. And I saw her out front, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on? How are you?" And I wasn't even spitting game. I just threw out there, "You want to go get dinner?" And she's like, "Yeah, let's go
That's
get dinner
game.
and catch up." I wasn't even meaning it to be, though. I was just like, "Let's catch up." And so we went out to sushi and felt like there was maybe something there.
Okay.
And so we had a good time, and I was like, "You want to hang out tomorrow?" And I went in for the kiss the next night, and then the rest is history.
So, if she were sitting in your chair and I was chatting with her, what would she say your biggest strength and your biggest weaknesses are? It's one of each.
Now, what would she tell you?
Yeah.
Let's start with the weaknesses. She would say that my weaknesses are, Michael would be able to answer this too. She would say that my weaknesses are a lack of attention to detail.
Okay. So you're creative.
Meaning
You're a visionary.
Yes.
Yes.
100%. Yeah, I'm a visionary. So she would say attention to detail is weak. She would say that I get to 85% completion fast.
Okay.
And then I just neglect the final 15. So maybe that's a portion of it. And maybe the third weakness.
I mean, I was only going to have you give me one, but if you want to give me three.
I would say those are probably the two that I think she would lean on.
And strength?
Strength, she would say communication,
Yeah.
managing conflict,
Okay.
and I would probably say the vision side, being able to see things before people do, and then lining up the communication side, and then getting people to rally behind you on the idea that's not yet presented.
Okay. And you have 4 kids with a 5th on the way.
Correct.
What's the oldest?
13.
13.
Yeah,
Okay.
Scarlett.
Scarlett, daughter. Okay. So if Scarlett was sitting in that chair, what would she say that she loves most about you? Like if I was interviewing her and she'd, "Hey, Scarlett, tell me what you like about your dad."
She would probably say that I like that he is fun and nice, I think.
Okay. That's it, huh? From 13, I guess a 13-year-old,
Yeah.
Fun and nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Has faith always been in your family? Like, when did it come into play?
For my wife, yes. For me, no.
Okay.
My wife grew up in the church. For me, I grew up in an agnostic family. And I had a friend who I hung out with that invited me to a weekend camp, like a summer camp up in Hume Lake. And it was a Christian camp. I just didn't know. And that was the first time I ever even heard about a God or creation or any of that. And that was kind of the beginning for me. But I grew up at an age where I was a skater, which was very anti-establishment. It was very raw in the 90s. And church in the 90s was very judgmental.
I
right?
would agree with that.
Yeah. So I remember like going to church, from 13 to 18 and hating it because I'd walk in as a skater and just felt just judgment.
100%.
And so I did not like that. And then my wife was kind of burnt out with church, I think, growing up in it. And then when we got together, we had an alignment in morals, I think, because of that.
Core values.
Yeah, but we weren't really going to church. We weren't really doing anything with it, I would say. And then it was really the birth of my daughter that really kind of drew us back. Like when my wife went through getting pregnant and then having a child, Scarlett, for her, it was like she watched a big part of why she was created, she got to experience firsthand. And that was kind of the pull. That was her being pulled back in. And then for me, it was losing my career in skateboarding and going through identity crisis and purpose lost and not really knowing who I was. And I tried to reestablish.
What age were you there?
I was 34.
Okay. So mid 30s.
Yeah, mid 30s. I got hit with it all.
Yeah. So you were done with skating. I got to find out what else am I doing in my life.
Yeah. Well, what I was trying to figure out is like who I was. That was the part that was hard for me, where from an early age until 34, if you asked me who I was, it was skater. Yeah. That was it. And then I found a way to be successful in it, to get validation, accomplishment, fulfillment. And then when that was gone, it felt like the lights turned off. And I was like, I didn't know who I was anymore. And I didn't want that feeling. And so for me, it was, at that point, I didn't have the answers I have today. All I can explain was I was so lost and I hated the feeling of not knowing what I was meant to do. And I wanted to get that back desperately. And I remember telling myself, whoever I am and whatever my purpose is, I don't want anybody to be able to take that from me again. Like feeling like I knew what I was and then having it, what felt like, stripped away, that was the worst feeling.
Out of control, meaning.
100%. Yeah. And so I tried to find the real answer that was not going to be masked in a business or success, because I didn't ever want to go through another experience where my business went away and I was lost again, or I wasn't successful and I was lost again. I wanted to actually have a staple and a rock that couldn't be taken. And that was the experience for me where, when I answered the who am I had to basically make a realization or answer the question, was I created or is this an accident? And I landed on created. And then that was the jump point to, I think, where I am today.
Okay. I know you got a lot of followers from this, maybe even haters from it. Tell me the connection with Charlie Kirk. Actually, before we get into that, where were you when you found out?
I was right there with Michael walking out of the car.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we were hitting balls. Him and I think we were at a property, and then we left the property, and I got him into golf recently. So he's obsessed now. And so he's like, hey, man, we got 45 minutes. Should we stop by the range?
Constant frustration for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's become the vein of my existence right now.
Yeah, it is. So we were
no matter how good you are.
Yeah, so we came back, and we were jumping out of the car, and I got a text.
Oh, my gosh.
And I got a text from somebody on his board that's friends, we're both friends with. And so he just texted me. He's like, hey, Charlie just got shot in the neck. Like, pray for him. And I was like texting back, what do you mean? What do you mean? And then no response. And this is before any of the news broke. Mm-hmm. So like I told him, he's like, are you kidding? And then I came in here and I'm just sitting like on X.
Yeah.
Trying to refresh.
So you're like behind the scenes on this.
For what felt like forever. It was probably only 5 minutes?
Wow.
6 minutes. And then basically saw that video.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
Yeah. I wish I wouldn't. I texted my wife right away. Do not pick up your phone.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gnarly.
Do you know who Patrick Bet-David is?
Of course.
Okay. So I was at his conference I'm sitting there in the front row, and Tony Robbins was on stage, and he was just finishing, and he didn't know, nobody knew yet, and they send Tony off stage, and then Patrick comes on, and you could tell something was up. He just looked disheveled, and then he came on stage, and he didn't know that Charlie was dead yet. He just thought he was shot, and so he's letting kind of the audience know, and you can tell he's like messed up because he just had him on his podcast. And then one of his guys, I think Vinny, came up on stage and said, no, he's gone.
Yeah.
And then Patrick lost it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was heavy.
And we were all right. It was crazy. I
Yeah.
mean, everybody was just in didn't know what to feel. It was massive shock.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those moments you're never going to forget where you were when you first heard.
Yeah. Yeah, even like I think probably regardless of the side you're on or the view you have.
It has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
I mean, the only person I'd probably be somewhat like if it was Hitler or something. I mean, but it's like even then it's like crazy, right? You don't wish anything on anyone per se, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. What was your relationship with him? I mean, I don't know if you're okay chatting with that. I mean, I got from listening to some of your
I don't
reels
mind.
and-
Yeah. I almost like don't even care. I'll just share anything.
Yeah.
So I met him in 2018 or 2019, and like met him, kind of talked to him here and there throughout the years, and he would come to our church a lot, so I would see him, and then watched a lot of his content, and he was. It was interesting because when all that happened, I was like, why am I being impacted so hard? Like, it's not like I've been closer from a personal standpoint with a lot of other people that have passed that did not have the same impact on me. And I think what the conclusion I came to was I knew him personally. So there was a personal connection. Father, young kids on social, killed for communicating a belief, and there was a lot of crossover in, probably a lot of the views I have, and it was like. I think it was all of that at once. Like, okay, I'm on social. I have young kids. Knew him personally. It was that was big. That was impactful.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. That was a hard one. I mean, he knows. He looked at me and goes, "Bro, you need to go frickin' take a week off. Like I got you. Like, don't worry about the company."
Well, and I didn't even know him personally, and I've still been impacted.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's completely devastating.
Yeah.
So, all right, a different topic now. Skater, had a brewery, sold the business. Now you're into, raising capital, doing funds and building stuff and real estate and all that. Between skating and the brewery, which one was more fun? Which one would you do if you had to wrap it all up again?
Oh, if I could do it again, I'd get skating.
Okay, and that's it.
Skating was so fun, man.
Okay.
Yeah, skating. Like I loved the brewery. I love building business. If out of everything I've ever done, I would not do skating again.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one, it was a love and a passion that turned into a career, which was fun. The skate industry and the traveling and the community side was unreal. Okay. Yeah,
Did you did X Games? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I would not do that again. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. But now it's like a different. Like the hard part is I was a kid, so I had something special to me when I was young that became a purpose, like we talked about, and I got fulfillment out of it. But now my life is different. Like I get fulfillment out of. I love building.
Yeah.
Like he knows this. My favorite part of business is
Construction.
No, creation.
It's the beginning stages.
Okay.
It's we have an idea, and how do we bring this idea to reality? That stage I love.
Yeah, visionary.
Yeah, once we get it going,
You
and he
somebody
knows
else-
this because
have somebody else operate.
He has to be careful of this one, right? Once it gets stabilized, I want to be on to the next.
Sure.
You know, because
Basically get you out of the way.
because
Hand
I
it
don't
off.
like. It's very important. It's not my skill set, but growing a business once the foundation is laid is a different skill set than I have.
Got it.
And it's a different interest than I have as well. And so he would be good to speak on this one, but I think if I could have a model to recreate over and over and over, it would be, what's the idea? Bring together the group that's going to help get this thing to the point of launch, build the foundation, and then once the foundation's built, I think probably what's best for me is let the correct people scale
Have
it
an operator operate.
and then move to the next idea. Would you agree with that?
100%.
Yeah, that's like if we were to try to take my gift and multiply it, that would be the rinse and repeat strategy.
Yeah, focusing in the areas that you do best, and then there are people that are better operators.
Well, it's not just focusing on the areas that you do best. It's also staying away from the areas where you create the bottlenecks, right? And somebody who's a visionary who tries to stay in and operate is going to by default create more bottlenecks in the business. So they're best served in the role of moving on to the next thing to work on creating that while you get this one going in a path where it's kind of on autopilot.
Got it.
Yeah, so watch this. First, do you disagree with what I thought Jen would view my weaknesses as?
A little bit.
Okay, so
I would have said.
So for you, what do you think my greatest weakness is, and how are you mitigating against that for our business?
How many weeknesses do I get to list?
Ooh, this is behind the scenes right here. This is great.
Speak it all.
No.
What
okay,
am I bad
so,
at?
Actually, the weaknesses I partially agreed with. I think it was the skill sets that I disagreed with. The weaknesses, I would say, lack of attention to detail. You are like ADD
That
on
is
steroids.
it's so common with visionaries.
It's true. And
they're
it's
they're great at. I'm at A. I want to go to Z. The B, C, D, E, F, G. Don't try.
No, just give me
Yeah.
dizzy.
Correct. And it's important for somebody who works with that personality to understand that. Because if you try to force them into your world, all you're going to have is frustrations along the way, right? You're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, not going to work for that personality. So you got to understand, like, if I want Mikey involved in something, I try to keep it to like 10 minutes or less. So if I have an hour-long meeting, I only bring him in for the 10 minutes I need him, and I let him go.
Got it.
Because otherwise he's checked out for the rest of it, and it's not going to be productive for him or for anybody
I love
else.
how he's smiling. He like tells
Because
me.
it's true. But why would I keep him in on a conversation when I know I am best served for him going out and doing something else that's more productive to the company? Him sitting in the conference room with me and my team is
for
gonna
2
be a waste
hours,
of our
right?
time.
Correct.
So that's one. But
What's the other weakness?
you are at times so obsessive about something that it can derail the direction that we're going in. But again, that speaks to that personality. On the skill sets, the first thing I was going to say was you have an eye for talent that is very unique. He has the ability to interact with somebody and say, that's somebody we got to figure out how to do something with. Gotcha. That's one. Two, he has this very unique skill set of blending personal things and the business world together. Okay. And making business something that is going to be enjoyable and fun so that you don't feel like you're actually doing something business oriented, but revenue comes from it as a result.
Got it.
Right? Like he makes it very fun in that way.
Yeah. So it doesn't feel like a job.
And then the third one is actually the same as his weakness. It's his obsessive personality.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So depending on how it goes, it can be a weakness or it can be an unbelievable gift.
What was the first time you guys met?
16?
2016.
2016.
Yeah,
where
9
where
years
were
ago.
you and what happened?
Oh, he had a financial management practice. He was a financial advisor.
Got it.
And he was partners with my mentor. And so I walked into the office and I hadn't seen him before. And so I just peeked in. I'm like, what's up? And he was like, hey, what's going on, man? I'm like, Mikey. He goes, Michael. And he looks at me and goes, hey, are you busy on Saturday? I'm like, for what? I'm holding this gala, and check, I did the gala last year. And he goes and starts pitching me on this gala he's running. I was like, this guy's interesting. And then we would see each other pretty frequently after, and we would just have conversations. I enjoyed talking to him. And there was a point in probably 2017 or so where I was like, I want to work with this guy. But he was partners with my mentor, and he had a business. And so for the next 3 years, I would just drip. Hey, man, I love what you're doing, but dude, you know what we're doing? And then I would end it. And I wouldn't sell. I would just kind of drip. And then one day he just kind of mentioned, you know, I'm all in on what you're doing. Like, I love it. I think your vision is totally spot on. I think this is awesome. And I was like, thanks. And then I called my mentor. Hey, would it be an overstep if I made a run at Mikey? And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, how would you be okay if he sold his business and came and did this with me? And he was like, if that's what Michael wants to do, I will be okay with it. And so I went after him. Let's do
Full-fledged.
Let's do this, bro. Let's sell your business. Come into this company, run it. We'll make you a partner. Talk to your wife. And then he hit me maybe 4 days later. He goes, let's do it.
Remember when I said he has an eye for
Well, no, I was looking at you going, does he mean himself? Or is it...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have kids? No kids?
I do.
You have kids. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is for both of you then. Both of you guys are 80 years old. You're sitting on your deathbed. You have to have a conversation with your 40-year-old self. What do you want that conversation to look like? Like, what would be a good one, and what do you fear most?
You want to start with that one?
No, I need a second to think about it. But I feel like you've answered this question before.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm 80 years old talking to my 40-year-old self.
So you've been through life,
Yeah.
and you're having to talk to you now.
I think the big one would be on the father aspect for me. I think the thing that I would want to reiterate over and over is that my kids don't care about the business. They're not going to care about city council. They're not going to care about my following. My kids are going to care about the relationship I have with them and the example of the father that I create. And I would tell myself, don't neglect that. That is actually a priority above everything else. And at the same time, I think the fear would be, don't be the dad who created children that are not set up to thrive.
Got it. That's good.
Yeah, I think that's where I would land.
How about you?
I would probably say, I'm 80 and I'm talking to my 40-year-old self. I'd probably say, never lose sight that God has a plan for you, and whatever hurdles you encounter are meant to be encountered, and you have the ability to overcome them.
Yeah.
I would then tell myself, have more kids.
How many you got?
I have 3 and 1 on the way.
Okay. You guys always got these ones in the incubator over here.
So
Both
There's
of you.
a story there, and I'll let you tell the story after this.
Are you
one.
guys on vacation together with your wives?
So this is a great one.
Well,
Yeah.
the last thing I would tell myself before you tell that story, I would say that, and then I would say the same thing that Mikey said. Like, you are not going to be remembered for building that building, making that money. It's the memory that you had with your children when you went with them to this place or did this with them, or you were just there for them. That is going to be the thing that lasts.
Yeah, so be careful coming to work for us.
Yeah.
Because we are very encouraging for everyone around us to have babies. And so in this room, Ryan just had his first.
Okay.
Mike has a baby on the way due December. He's got one coming February. I've got one coming February. We've got people out there with babies on the way. So we are
Holy
big
moly.
believers in having kids.
Is it going to be just big paternity leave for all the dads?
You
here
know,
soon?
now this
Everybody
might-
exodus out the door, or
Listen,
what?
this might not be a good business strategy that we have a lot of babies coming,
Yeah.
but we are big fans of having kids. Just go have them. I was on him for years, have more kids. He had 2. and I was on my way with 3. I'm like, come on, dude, I'm passing you up.
Well, now you have a basketball team, bro.
Right. I'm now gearing up for 4. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? You're lagging. We were
done.
They were done.
Okay.
And we went to Florida, and we were with PBD. And we were in his house, and Pat starts talking about kids.
Oh, of course.
And Pat goes, I have this thing that I'm looking at right now, which is if you're a great dad, you have to have more kids. This is the time for
so
good parents to have kids.
Yeah, it's fair.
And Pat saying it, I look at Michael.
He's saying it to me. He's not saying it to the collective.
Grab my phone.
He's grilling me.
Grab my phone. Start filming Pat preach to Michael.
Oh, my goodness.
And then he finishes, and then I text his wife because his wife is a big fan of PBD.
Okay.
And 4 months later, she's pregnant. And
Well,
then
you got to work.
he got to work.
I
and
got
then-
home and she's like, let's go. And I'm like,
Yep. Right. And then once their third was 11 months, she got pregnant again.
Damn. You guys don't mess around.
Yeah. So listen, if you don't want kids, do not come and work for me. If you don't want kids, do not get around Patrick Bet-David.
Fair enough.
It's not to say that it's, I mean, like people could watch that and say, oh yeah, easy for you to say.
Right.
Financially, you guys can do it. It is a financial challenge even for us.
Well, sure. I mean, it's
Big time. But
yeah.
I think there's also an element of perspective on this, right? Like there's a variable to having children that it comes down to, do you see it as a burden and an obligation with all the things that you have in front of you, diapers, food, tuition, whatever the case may be?
Yep.
Or do you see it as a blessing and you have a belief that with the blessing that the child brings, your whole entire family will be blessed as a result?
Sure.
And so if you have just the right mindset about it, I think it helps kind of work through the challenges that you're going to face having children, raising them, financially supporting them. I mean, I always say like having kids extends your spectrum on both ends of life, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
your happiest moments become way happier with your kids and your worst fears become way worse if, God forbid, something happens with your children.
Yeah.
And that's an uncomfortable place to be. But the blessing that they bring into this world, there's just nothing like it.
Yeah, this is why they say that once you have 4 kids, it's so much easier to have 5, 6, or 7, right? Because before you have 4, you're still trying to hold on to your life, right? You have 2 kids.
I mean, I would say it kind of ends at 2.
Well,
Mike,
if you can,
you go to a third, now you're on zone defense.
You're on zone, but this is what happens at 4. Once you have 4, there's no longer a fight. You're like, my life is not my own anymore. You are forced to just let go of your life and accept that you have to be selfless in this and put the attention on the kids.
Sure.
And once you accept that one, it gets much easier. But at 2, for me, I could still be a pro skateboarder and run businesses and do all these things. And I still tried to maintain my life.
Got it.
And it was harder to have 2 kids when I was fighting that, where once you give up, it actually becomes much easier.
Your question was, if your 80-year-old self can talk to your 40-year-old self, what would it say? The question is, what would the 40-year-old self tell the 80-year-old self? And that is that at 80, if you have the children, by the time you're 80, those 4 kids will have X amount of grandchildren, and your home will be filled with an unbelievable amount of joy. Because it's the families that have a lot of the kids that all the friends want to go there. It's the cool house. It's the one with all the snacks and the drinks and yada, yada, yada. And that's where everybody wants to be. And that amount of joy, there's just nothing like it in this world. I have a friend.
And you have 4 separate people that can wipe your butt, too.
I have a friend who has 8.
Because you're 80.
I have a friend who has 8 kids.
Wow.
Nuts. But his house is filled with joy all the time. It's unbelievable.
It's chaos in the best
It's
way.
chaos.
I bet. No, I always say it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do that you love to do.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Justin, anybody that wants to connect with you that's looking to invest in, mainly markets outside of California.
Yep.
Maybe some opportunity in San Diego. What's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
I say YouTube. Honestly, I push everybody to watch our free content on YouTube. Justin Brennan, multifamily. We just share what we're doing, how we're doing it. If you want to get into the space, you want to learn it, Just go straight to YouTube and type in Justin Brennan multifamily.
My man. For everyone listening, will you please leave a comment because we covered a lot there. Do you guys like when we flow around to different topics? Do you guys like when it's very honed in and specific? I want to know your guys' feedback on this one. Thank you for spending
I have one last question
Go
for you.
ahead. Go.
How has giving and helping others created abundance for you and you in your lives?
Ooh, let's end it on that. You want to start with this one?
How has giving
Yeah.
and helping others create abundance for you guys?
So we made the decision to start giving when actually we were in dire straits financially. And it wasn't because we were in dire straits financially. It just felt like the right thing for us to start doing. We started to say, why haven't we been doing this all along? Let's start. The question came up, should we start now or should we wait until more money? No, we should start now. So we actually put ourselves in a worse position financially as a family because we wanted to start giving. And sure enough, pretty fast, opportunities came up and we got blessed, and those dire straits didn't last very long.
Interesting.
So for us in the Jewish world, the concept, we're called to give, right? And so the concept of giving is embedded into us, and helping others that are less fortunate is a value that when you raise your kids with it, you are raising good children to become good adults that are going to understand the value more than just self. And so for us, giving has dramatically changed the trajectory of our life in a massive way.
I love
Yeah,
that.
that's good. So there's going to be some crossover, but it's a little bit different because Old Covenant versus New Covenant, or Old Testament versus New Testament. But how it started with us was actually more of what Christians are called to do, right? The idea is that none of this is ours anyway. This is all God, so we give in, giving back to Him and being good stewards. And so, what a lot of people recommend for Christians to do is tithe, right? And my wife and I just maintained that discipline before we even really understood why or even got to see the fruits of it. But I would say where it really changed was somewhere around 2016, 17. My wife and I are looking at the end of the year, and we're looking at basically what we were given. And we started just like praying, what should we do with this money? And we came up on an amount that we wanted to give. And my wife was like, I have this friend who's they're missionaries out in Germany. And I don't know why I feel like we should give this amount to them. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And so we send the check out, and she gets a call a week later from the wife. And she says, Jen, thank you so much, but I just need to tell you the significance of this. And my wife's like, okay. And as a family, they wanted to stay in Germany an additional year. And they didn't know how they were going to do it. And they were 1 week away from having to say, we have to go back home.
Wow.
And the reason why was the gap that they needed to stay an additional year was exactly the amount that we gave them to a T. And when we went through that, it was really cool because it is exactly what Christians are called to do, right? You were given this, come together as a household, pray where you should give that money. The number made no sense why we felt like it was supposed to go them. And then it was the confirmation. This was exactly what we needed. And this is how we were able to bless that family out there. That's a cool experience.
Yeah.
So I would say that was the first time where I really felt the blessing of it in that regard. Mm-hmm. And so that's something that we have maintained. And then we've seen it play out, multiple different ways or iterations.
Yeah, it's the law of reciprocity.
Yeah.
I went to Pepperdine just across the canyon over here, and if you drive into the campus, at the top of the sign, it reads, freely ye give, freely ye receive.
Yeah.
That's how I've kind of lived my life.
That's right. All right, everybody. Justin, that was an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, this was
Thank
fun.
you. Thank you,
learn all
everybody,
about
for
you
watching.
guys.
That was great, man. Thank you for coming down.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I appreciate the
This was
drive
cool.
down from San Diego.
This was cool. We're going to get you down there skating and doing some fun.
All right, gang. We will see you guys next week.